my authentic self with that of other people who seem very far away from me. Right? And it's important we merge, because if we want to create peace on earth, it begins within, and then we can sprinkle our peace on other people if we so desire. And that's part of being social with people. Right? And so as we explore the unification of differences, I have one question for you. Who are you? Do you know who you are? Because knowing thyself is the answer. If you want to feel organic and free and natural in social situations, you have to know exactly where you're coming from. You have to be grounded in you. And a lot of times when we think of defining thyself, we define the self. And so we use these open adjectives. I'm this, I'm that. What's that song? It's like, I'm a something, I'm a mother, I'm a child, I'm a lover. And they define themselves through the song, which is totally great. But it's important that we remember who we are is ever-changing. We are impermanent. And so my whole point today, if I could leave you with one thing, is free yourself to be ever-changing. Because that's what you are. And you can't constrict yourself to a personality. You can't define yourself with words. You are much broader than words. You are infinite, abstract, nebulous. You are free to be who you want to be at any given moment. I was talking to my friend the other day, and he's an artist, and we do a lot of art together, and he recently went to a festival, and it was a beer festival, and it revolved around alcohol, which is great, so I'm not saying alcohol's bad, but he said after the third day, there were some people who were so drunk that he was just blown away. He didn't know that one could get this drunk and still be moving around comfortably, so it seemed, maybe more comfortable than when they are sober. And so he said that in that moment of watching these drunk people sort of dance around all free, he realized that we desire freedom so much, we'll go to any limit to achieve and receive it, right? And he said, the people I were watching wanted freedom so bad that they poisoned themselves just to feel such freedom. They are literally dying to be free. And that's what we all desire, is freedom. And I'm not saying alcohol's bad, but if that's what we depend on to explore our self-freedom, then it's not the right way to go about it. It's like doing drugs all the time to feel connected with God, when God is in you. And we tell little kids, and we tell teenagers, and sometimes adults, we say, I think you need to find yourself. Do you know who you are? Go on a journey. Find yourself, and we're sending them on an endless quest. Because their self is already here. You're not going to find yourself somewhere in a grocery store, in your garage, in a closet. You're existing right here and right now. How free are you willing to let yourself be with yourself? Telling someone you need to go find yourself, get in touch with yourself, is like saying to someone, have you seen your nose lately? You need to find it. Get in touch with it. And actually, I haven't seen my nose, because if you haven't noticed, it's hard to see your nose. And it's hard to see yourself in that way. I mean, it's existing, but where is it? I can only see sides of it with my eyes. And the self is very abstract in that way. And so when I talk about the self and I just can't provide a definition to people, they say, oh, what do you want me to have, like multiple personality disorder? You want me to be flopping all over the place, you know? One day I'm Sandra, the next day I'm Bobby, and I'm just freaking all my family members out, and I just don't have this certain grounding that we desire in spirituality, in the spiritual world. And I'm saying, no, it's quite the opposite. Because here's what's interesting. Multiple personality disorder is actually widely debated in the psychological community. It's very rare right now, and it's actually called dissociative disorder right now. And it's because one dissociates themselves with parts of themselves because they've been through such a traumatic experience. They want to get away from it. And so they, in turn, are attaching themselves to other broad aspects of themselves that they form into personalities in order to escape the past, which they have now brought into the presence with their reaction through personality. And so all I'm saying is non-attachment is the key. You don't have to worry about flip-flopping from one personality to the other if you are really in flow, and that's why I call it authentic flow. Because authentic self to me is too concrete, self. In our culture, we don't view the self as ever changing. And so the way I see authentic flow in my mind's eye is there is this racetrack, and I like to picture my racetrack as an infinity sign. So picture an infinity sign right here. And then there's a little car on the racetrack driving around, and sometimes it goes really fast, and then other times it's really slow, and then sometimes it bangs into the wall and does all of these cute little crazy things. And this car is ever changing, but it's within this sort of flow that we find through meditation, through activities that ground ourselves like yoga and whatnot. And so when I talk of flow, I like to bring up the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching is the foremost text of Taoism, and it's a book of flow. It's also a little book of Proverbs. I like to call it the little book of paradox, and you'll understand why in a minute. So I want to share with you a quote from there. I actually lost the book, so I'm going to try and just spit it out from my memory. But here goes the quote. "The master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled." And that's what I'm getting at. Because she or he has let go of him or herself, they are perfectly fulfilled. Because there's this energy that just wants to shoot through you. You're this open void that can let it come through. You just have to open yourself more and more and more. That's how I see growing. How open can I be? I didn't realize I could be this open. Let me open up more so I can let this energy just beam through me. You know, recently I went to a rally, as Reverend Bronte was talking about, a rally for YOU, Youth of Unity, and it's a bunch of teenagers who are all interested in self-growth, self-actualization, and it's absolutely stunning to see a culture of teenagers who are so interested in working on themselves. And I thought, what's the one piece of advice I could give them? And I thought about this question that I was asked after high school, and I thought I should kind of give them a heads up. When you step into the real world, even though that's an illusion, so we're hyping you up for nothing. When you step into the real world, you'll be asked a question, and it'll go like this. What do you do for a living? We've all heard that, and we've all probably asked that too. I've asked it. What do you do for a living? And you can reply, I live. That's it. It's a simple answer to an interesting question, a question revolving around the notion that living requires some sort of monetary compensation, that living desires problems and solutions, when in fact all living truly desires is for you to live. And that's the same as what I'm saying today. Who are you? I am. ... And maybe you could say ever-changing. And it coincides perfectly with that fifth unity principle. I do and give my best by living the truth I know. And if I were to add something to that, if Unity ever asked me to add something, I'd say ... which is ever-changing. I do and give my best by living the truth I know, which is ever-changing. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. Do you love yourself in that way? Do you love your mother in that way? Is your mother free to be any type of mother she wants to be? I had to work on loving some family members that way. And I realized in desiring to constrict them, I was really just constricting myself. And so now I step back and go, they can do what they want to do, because I can do what I want to do. And since I'm not following their path, what they do has no attachment to me. The strings are released. The little puppeteer strings we get attached to and used to. And so I want to end today from another quote from the Tao Te Ching, which I hope I have memorized too. I've been reading the book a lot lately, and I'm really, really into it. And in the book, by the way, they use the word master. And in the Tao Te Ching, master is interpreted as master of thyself. Because there's a lot of ego that could surround that word. I'm a master. I'm a Zen master. I got my shaman certification last week. Isn't it funny, in the spiritual realm or culture, we have people getting certified to be all of these special things. When in the tribal culture, you didn't get certification. It was like, if you can heal someone from a really intense illness, yeah, you're a shaman. You know? It's really cute the way the Western world goes about it. It's really cute. It's interesting. I don't want to say it's bad, but I'm almost perplexed by it. I'm like, wait, you got a certification and that's it? Oh, that's great. Didn't know it was that easy. That's awesome. Congratulations. Knowing others, this is the quote from the Tao Te Ching. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. So may we all be masters in our own way today. I'm going to close it out with one song I'm going to share with you. And then I think we're going to do whatever you guys do after.
Yeah, give things away, yeah.
Oh, give things away.
Yeah.
And speaking of things, I have my art there. So after the service, feel free to come up and talk to me and look at the art and get to know me a bit. I haven't been here before, but it's a beautiful congregation to be around, and I'd love to meet you all.
Life is love if you take your time and wait it out till the tide decides. Tell you something true. Don't go wasting all your time and waiting just to feel high. It's already there too. Follow the big gold sun, my friend, and you'll be on your way. I don't even know why I say what I say. It seems so silly. Chase it down and chase your tail and end up flowing everywhere, flowing from the truth. Don't go spending all your time